Oh, howdy all, grab yourselves a beer, it is time for some Path of Exile discussion. What I wanted to do is showcase a build using dumpster tier gear that is intended to be my league starter for 3.9. This is an elemental hit, tri-element, elemental equilibrium mine character. So, elemental hit means that your skill is elemental hit. Tri-element means that I am not using either of the various jewels that is able to stop elemental hit from choosing a specific element. It's a pretty common choice to force elemental hit to only deal fire damage by preventing it from choosing cold with this combat focus and preventing it from choosing lightning with this combat focus. I'm not going that route. What I'm doing instead is I am taking elemental equilibrium so that I can alternate between the three elements and deal massive damage all the time. I'm using dumpster tier gear, although you can see like this is my standard characters, so I've got some wealth. I'm basically using life resist and a small amount of weapon elemental damage in each slot, and this quiver's quite alright. I am using just a plain tabula rasa, so terrible armor. Frostphono does nothing for me in the helmet, and except for actually all this is doing is just resist and evasion. And this bow here has what's now going to be a legacy subterranean mod at the start, Prismatic Fossil, but that's still going to exist, it's just going to have slightly lower tier numbers. And it has the 21 to 23% mine throwing speed craft onto it, and also crit multi. So it's an okay item, but it's nothing special, nothing you can't craft better than yourself. This is an 8 mod tier 16 map, and we're going to go in there and we're going to demonstrate how this build works. Notice that I have almost no life, that's just by virtue of the gear that I had available to me in standard, so I'm going to have to be fairly careful, but I will have the damage that monsters will melt when they're hit. So the core playstyle, firstly you don't stand in desecrated ground, you throw these mines down, and then when you press D, they all detonate in a chain. The speed of detonation accelerates, so the first mines detonate slowly and then they start detonating faster. When a mine detonates, it then makes a ranged attack using your bow targeting a random enemy in range. And it does a lot of damage, as you can see. The first hit won't do massive damage, but the second one will. Everything chains because I'm a Deadeye, and chaining is strong. Additionally, by virtue of being a Deadeye, I have access to Tailwind. Tailwind makes me 10 to 20% faster in action speed, depending upon how many actions I have made in the last short period of time. I'm making this while it's still in 3.8, so that means that Pit of the Chimera can still drop as a normal map. You'll also notice a lot of my support gems are not max level or even close to it. I just re-spec'd into this. This was a character that had played a different type of elemental hit build back in Incursion, when it was a super meta and actually quite overpowered build. That version has been nerfed quite a bit. It's still pretty solid, but it's not uber. And I just realized I shouldn't be using Dying Sun. I do have a Dying Sun on this character, but I probably shouldn't use it. I was using it occasionally, just not very often. Hopefully this gives a bit of a sense of the playstyle. The key thing that's important here, because the damage isn't coming from me, it's coming from my mines, I'm basically immune to Reflect. There are no map mods that I can't run, although I would absolutely need to use a mana flask when running maps that have no regeneration. Let's go take out the boss. Now I can preload a whole bunch of damage by dropping down 23 mines before engaging, then run in, press the button, everything gets fired off, and we have them down very low in life already. That was a tier 16 map boss, and I'm not using strong gear at all. Map bosses will be increased in hit points in the next expansion, so it may be that it's not going to be as trivial as that. However, there are plenty of sources of more damage than I've got at the moment. I have also run this through Vile Temples, including two attempts, one deathless boss run and one that had a death. So it's able to do more difficult content as well. One of the tricks with a Deadeye that takes a bit of getting used to... Ooh. Eek, that's dangerous. I should be very careful. I'm used to having freeze immunity from... My character during Blight League was immune to freeze, and this one isn't. Okay, so one of the tricks that you gain from being a Deadeye is extremely fast use of Blink Arrow. Anyways, hopefully that gives a bit of a sense of how the build plays. I will next create a video that illustrates how it is built. Got any comments or questions though? Definitely fire away below.